going to Covenant. So we left. My sister did not go with us and wanted to give me her teddy bear to help me up there and remember her, but I did not want to defile the precious gift by taking it away from her and home. We left the house early morning and went to Walmart to spend over $400 on supplies. Then we started toward Georgia. When we got there and went to my room, I was in shock. I was so uncomfortable. The place was in chaos. People were blaring music and running around half naked on the hall my room was in. To me, everyone I met seemed nuts. I was furiously going nuts and freaking out. My parents suggested I stay one night in the dorm room to see if I could do it, and they would stay at a hotel. I said I can't even take it here one night. No way. So we made our way back to the car, taking all my stuff all the way back. We were exhausted. By now it was the evening, and none of us really slept the night before, and A True Christian, by Joseph Zeiss, had been driving all day. We were exhausted, tired, hungry, and disappointed. We talked for hours on what I should do. They were ready to leave the campus if I didn't decide. More than anything, I was scared. I felt like if I didn't go to Covenant, my life would be over. I wouldn't find God, I wouldn't find a good job, wouldn't succeed, and wouldn't have friends. I felt death waiting for me back in Florida. Finally, and I know this was God, I prayed to Jesus. My dad was going to take my dorm room key back to the office to turn it in and leave for Florida. I said no. If God has failed me by making me not find him and made me so uncomfortable that I can't stay, or if I have failed God by not being brave enough, I want to face God myself and tell him, "You jerk, I did my best, here is your key." I took the key, left the car, and began walking up the stairs to the office. No turning back now. I prayed, "God, please help me, and do something if you want me to go here. I can't do it if you don't help, otherwise I'm back in Florida." I opened the door and A True Christian, by Joseph Zeiss, went up to and gave the key to a girl that worked there. She looked surprised and asked if everything was okay. I really give thanks to Jesus for her. I explained the situation, that my hall had a bunch of weird people on it, but I wanted to go there. She said she would check something out and took my number. My family and I left for a hotel not knowing the outcome. On the way I got a call. It was the dean of students. He asked me the problem, and I told him. He asked if we could come in the next day to talk with him. I was elated and said yes, definitely. We got a hotel, finally got sleep, and met with him the next day. He asked me if I didn't like the hall, or if I didn't like the school. I said it was definitely the hall. He took us up to a different hall and showed us around. He said, if I could have my own room without any weird roommates to bother me, on a hall that seemed more calm and normal. I was excited and took the offer, thanking God in my heart. My parents left me later that day to go back to Florida. I remember long hugs and my dad waving until I couldn't see. A True Christian, by Joseph Zeiss. Hymn. I went into the Great Hall for a beginning of the year meeting for freshmen. I remember feeling so alone and scared. Over the years I was there, I did two things. I always talked to my family multiple times a day, and I would talk to many people about how to be saved. It was my mission to get saved. A few things played into this. I was alone in a new place far from home and family, so I was scared and knew more my need of Jesus. Also the Christian environment, chapel, small groups, and all the Christians around me, and all the singing and all the sermons made me want this Jesus, and to be sure he was mine. I also wanted God to help me, and to help with the loneliness, lostness, and homework. I had many insanely cool conversations that really helped me towards Jesus, and, at minimum, helped me at that moment in time. I also think because I was lonely, I wanted Jesus to fill me up, and it didn't hurt to talk to someone while he wasn't there. Anyways, I ended up in one the most amazing. A True Christian, by Joseph Zeiss. Providential blessings of my life the second year there. I was talking with some random people about who I should take a Bible class from, and someone insisted that I take at least one course with a radical teacher named Dr. Henry Krabbendam. Another person at the table suggested he was a little crazy and not to, but when the first person spoke about him, it seemed that maybe and hopefully there was a life and love and power about this Dr. Krabbendam. And that is what I needed. I needed someone who actually knew God, an expert, who could help me find him. I took New Testament from him the next semester and was blown away. Much like in the Bible, when Jesus spoke with authority and amazed the people, when I listened to Dr. K, I really felt like he knew what he was saying and it meant something. Well, that was it. After a few days or weeks in his class, I started talking to him about if I was a Christian and how I could be saved. He was so loving, gracious, knowledgeable, and holy. He would not only talk with me countless times, trying to help me, but he would pray. A True Christian by Joseph Zeiss, with me a ton, and even let me use his office to read scripture and pray for God's help and salvation. I really did, and still do respect him so much. He had power, love, and godliness, something very few people have even among a Christian college. He gave me a book to read that really helped. I say it helped, but it helped by hurting. When I read the book, I would get more afraid of going to hell, but that was good. As Amazing Grace says, it was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. The book was called A Pastor's Sketches by Ichabod Spencer. It was about a pastor trying to help convert a variety of people, some in his church, some not. Also, when I started college, I started reading the Bible, mainly the New Testament, a chapter a day. In high school, I was struggling and having a hard time, and many nights I would pray for help and read a psalm, but did not get into the New Testament, and it's hard to hear teachings until college. That also made me afraid of Jesus and going to hell. A True Christian by Joseph Zeiss. For many years I kind of hated Matthew because of all of going to Uganda. Anyways, as time went